Hey guys, Rod the Nerd here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Hiya Toys Godzilla King of the Monsters Godzilla. And despite me collecting Hiya Toy figures from the MonsterVerse line, this is actually my first actual Godzilla Hiya Toys Godzilla. You know, the namesake of this whole line? Yeah, this guy. Yeah, it's actually my first figure of this guy. So, I'm pretty happy about it, and I gotta say that it's probably, if not my favorite Hiya Toys figure that I have in my collection. If you thought that the Skullcrawler was good, this guy blows that figure out of the water 10 times fold. It is so well. You know what? I don't even want to go into spoilers. I'm just gonna look. We're gonna take a look at the box here because I want to savor it. Of the figure a little bit more, just to show how awesome this figure is. But yeah, take a look at the box here. You got a nice view of Godzilla here, and then on the side of the box here, you got some, well, not the side of the box, but, you know, to the side of the front of the box here, you got some more promotional shots of Godzilla there. Got the Godzilla King of the Monsters logo as well. Flip around to the back of the box here. You got some more warning labels saying Godzilla's copyright. Don't let your kids choke to death on it. And then you also got a nice view of Godzilla menacingly. And then you also kind of got like this, the kind of hollow earth where Godzilla was dying, and, you know, Mr. Godzilla Lover 249 comes up and he's like, you know what? I'm going to give you some more radiation, buddy, because I love you, and now you're burning Godzilla. So that's pretty cool. Very neat. So let's take a look at the actual figure. And here he is in all his fat lizard glory. This is just a fantastic looking figure. It is so well detailed, man. Like, the sculpt work is so impressive from the different, you know, kind of smaller scales here, from the armored plates overlapping on each other. And then he even got like these really big kind of you know, big bump scales going throughout the side of it as well. It's just so well done. The different grooves on the spines is just so well. It's impressive, really. The fact that this came from an actual human being and just actually sculpt work on this, and the paint job is so well done. On camera, you do get to see kind of like this kind of dark and light gray is going throughout, but there is actually some dry brushing of kind of orange and light browns going throughout. It's a little bit hard to see on camera, but trust me, in person, it looks really, really nice. You can kind of, there you go, you can kind of, you can see it on the, you know, the abdomen section, the chest area here, just looks really, really nice. I love the different grooves on it. It just looks so well done. And then you also got some more scales on this, on his neck there, and you can see his gills right there. Very nicely, very nice detail to point that there. It's just really, really nice. But yeah, the detail is just amazing. The different, you know, the different sizes of spines going through the tip of the tail here. Just very, very nice. It just looks so good. And classic Hiya Toys fashion, it is pointy as shit, so you may want to watch out when you're handling this guy, especially any point that looks sharp on this figure is sharp and will, like, you know, possibly draw blood if you just decide to just grab this without even knowing. Even just doing that, that's a little bit pokey for me. But yeah, just it makes sense for Godzilla, and it also makes sense for Hiya Toys because they can't resist putting, you know, they can't resist not putting giant spikes on a giant monster that could actually hurt you in real life. So, gotta give them props for that. Also gotta give them props for the head here. The head just looks amazing, especially the eyes here. On some other Hiya Toys Godzilla figures, the eyes were a little bit, you know, paint mishappy. They just looked a little bit sloppy. But on this, it's really hard to see on camera, but in person, it looks so well done. Even the beady eyes, somebody actually had to paint that too. The different, you know, the white with the brown in the black pupil, that all had to be painted on with the tiniest, you know, the precision of it is just so well done. Also, they also managed to get rid of this, I believe it was the Godzilla vs. Kong Hiya Toys figure that they did for Godzilla here. The joint for the opening mouth was really, really pronounced. It looked really, really ugly. But thankfully that they kind of reverse engineered that, and it made it more seamlessly into the actual sculpt instead of, you know, kind of protruding like that. But yeah, it just looks so well done. And it just looks so well. I can't. I'm saying the same thing over and over again just because of how much I love, just the look of this thing. But if you could probably hear that, what makes a Hiya Toys figure good? Not by the price, not by the size, but the sound of the joints. Listen to this. Oh, satisfying. It's beautiful sounding. Some people might say that it's a little bit too, unnerving just to hear all these, like, tight joints being, squeaky and everything like that. But trust me, the joints on this are not tight and they're not too loose either. It is very, very well done. The joints they just sound really satisfying, but all the joints here are in a very, very nice, solid, range where they're not too tight, not too loose. They're just perfect, so let's take a look at the articulation here. So for the head here, this is actually one complaint about this figure. It's just the articulation in the head, unfortunately. The head, so the base of the head here has a ball joint and a swivel. Can look side to side, but you also get ball joints in the base of the head here, and then you also got, I'm guessing, I can't really see, but there are dumbbell joints, I'm assuming, just be how the joints actually move and everything, that there are dumbbell joints in the actual neck here that allows it just to get that kind of range there, and you can see, like, the neck folds are actually separate pieces, but they don't show the ball joints at all. They're very, very nice. They're clumped together very nicely. That makes it look really nice when you do actually move the head. But like I said, the range of it is a little bit, kind of lackluster, not gonna lie. He can barely look down, and he can look up a little bit further than what he's, kind of his default stance there. But you're not going to get that poster shot, unfortunately, which is kind of unfortunate because this is the King of the Monsters version. And, everybody wants to create the, the atomic breath shooting into the sky, but it just doesn't allow that, unfortunately. And if they did allow, have, the head even, raise up like that, he doesn't come with any, atomic breath part. So you can't even recreate that if he even had the range of the head to look up that far. So, but you got a nice, jaw opening there. Very nice detail in the mouth there. Very nicely sculpted teeth. But you also got a little tongue that can actually flick. Look at this. Look at that. He can flick his little tongue. That's adorable. Anyway, close that sucker up. I don't want to look at his disgusting mouth anymore. For the arms here, they can rotate 360 degrees. Very nice. Don't make the tightness, that sound fool you. It's very, very nice. It's smooth to turn around. It was just hard for me to navigate my camera. And also because I'm in a weird kind of... It's just in a weird position where I'm filming this. He's got a bend at the elbow here, and he also does have a ball joint at the wrist here, so up and down, side to side, and all that good stuff. Unfortunately, though, he does have a waist articulation here. You can see it right here. There is a joint. If I just, I can try to move it, but it doesn't want to do it, mostly just because the spikes are pushing up against each other, and so it doesn't really allow it to move all that well. I'm pretty sure if I heat the joint up with a hairdryer, then I might as well. It could move a little bit, but for right now, I'm not trying that. It's to be fair, though, I don't even care about the waist joint, honestly. It just doesn't really matter to me. For the legs here, they can kick that far, and they can also rotate 360 degrees as well. Pretty lackluster articulation in the leg as well. Double bent at the knee here, pretty decent. A slight, not really, kind of calf swivel here. And then you also do get a articulation at the foot here. Can move up and down. And a slight pivot. Pretty lackluster articulation in the legs here. But at least they had a little bit more range than the head. For the tail here, you get all these different segments of ball joints here, and all working together to create really nice dynamic S poses. I wish that it would the joints would allow the tail to move up a little higher off the ground instead of just whatever this is. But yeah, the joints of the tail are very nice. Just the fact that you can get some S poses, S curves with the tail is perfectly fine by me. But yeah, very, very nice. I really do like that. It's such a good figure, guys. I highly recommend this. Even though that some people might not like the articulation, I just want him just to stand there menacingly. I'm not expecting him to get into, like, crazy dynamic poses or anything like that. And the price is pretty reasonable. He's around $60. And for, you know, the current age of SH Monster Arts figures where they're actually smaller than this, I mean, not like core class Transformer small, but small enough that you would reasonably be like, why did I spend this much for a figure that's like half the size of this, right? And with no, you know, with no accessories to come along with it. But this, he is big, he is chunky, got really nice articulation. The paint and sculpt the work is very nice. Really love it. I just can't get over how well he looks. And yeah, it's just a really good figure. I highly recommend Hiya Toys. It's a cheaper alternative to SH Monster Arts. It's just a very, very nice figure all the way around. Also, I did forget to mention, I'm happy to report that with me playing with this guy on camera and off camera, the paint is very nice. If you've kept up with my Hiya Toys reviews lately, especially the Skullcrawler, you would know that once you're like posing him or, you know, articulating any of the joints, you get paint flakes and the paint will start to peel off of the certain joints. And that was just one of my biggest complaints with that figure. But I am happy to report that with me playing with this guy, I have not experienced any paint flakes. I have not experienced any, you know, paint loss on the joints here, especially on the elbows here. Very, very nice, decent, very, very nicely, you know, durable paint on this particular figure. So I'm happy to report that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this this video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't care what you do because you know what time it is. So, bye, guys.